Hey guys, this is Drakkalan bringing you another Kingdom of Heroes Tactics War video. We just came off of making another video, so I wanted to jump in and do this while we had some extra summons, or not extra summons, but extra units from doing a fresh summon session, and just kind of walk you guys through my process of doing skill ups, who I look at putting skill ups into first, and how it works out in this game. So we're going to go ahead and open up our hero box, and what I like to do when I just got into doing a summon session and I've got a bunch of extra nat 3s that I want to use for skill ups because of the collection reward. If you look in the lower left hand corner, click on the collection tab, you'll see you have these 4 groups. One is based off of heroes acquired, one's based off of how many heroes you've awakened, the other is based off of a combined hero levels, and then you've got the skill levels of those said heroes. And that's why I'm spending my nat 3s and feeding them to themselves to get those skill ups. So if you go, there's a little drop down arrow that you can click, right? So the filter at the top where you can do dark, light, and the other standard elements. What I like to do is click on that drop down arrow, and then I like to go from sorting by rank and sort by name. That way, with the units being different levels, it makes it easier to kind of divide them out and see where you can apply the extra nat 3s that you've gotten. And then I just scroll through here real quick and I look for anything I've got, right? So we've got Sif. I've got one that's locked, that's level 40 and awakened. I've got one that's a 4-star. Not sure why she's 4-star. Oh yeah, I'm using her as fodder because of another trick you can do. I don't do it too often because it takes up a lot of space, but if you go in the upper right hand corner, you've got 2 different modes. One's kind of a portrait mode, which is what we're in now. The other is a detailed mode, and that will tell you if you've got runes equipped, if they need skill ups. Right, so the little plus signs, let's find the plus signs is where the runes fall into. So it's easy to kind of go through your box, see who's got on certain runes if you want to do a quick exchange, or just make sure that everybody's got 6 runes that need them for whatever content you're pushing through. But the biggest thing is these skill ups, right? It makes it easy to tell who you need to feed more skill ups into. So in this case, if we look at this Sif that I've got locked and awakened, she's 7766. So she's fully skilled. That means this Sif is 4-starred because I've created her to use as fodder for other units down the road. So we don't have to worry about feeding her to herself. And that's just a quick, easy way to kind of scroll through here real quick. So we're sorted by name, and we've got the detailed view on to see who needs the skill ups. Phantom right here, you know, we've got 4 extra ones of him. We've got a max level 4-star right here. He's at 5 out of 9 skill ups. So if we click on him, we go to skill, you can see that he's 1-1-1-1. So nothing to feed into those, but he needs 4 more for to max out his S1. Alright, and we'll talk about these 2 purple guys in a second. Alright, so these 4 phantoms will go into this skill because it's the only skill up that needs skill ups. If his other skills were missing skill ups, then they would be on here and they randomly go into whatever skills aren't max leveled. So they won't be wasted, but you don't really get to choose the skill that they go into. There's a little bit of RNG involved. That's not so important on the nat 3s, but on nat 4s and nat 5s, typically you would prefer them to go into a specific skill. And as you can see, it costs silver to do this. Luckily, we've got almost 400,000 silver, so we'll be fine to finish out all of these. So we're getting that damage increase. Now those guys are gone. And we freed up a little bit of space while maxing out the Phantom. And again, if you look at the bottom, you'll see he's 9 and 9. Scroll through real quick, see what else we have. So we've got an extra Natasha. She needs 1 more skill up, so she's about to be max leveled as well, or max skilled. So now any more Natashas that we summon, any more Phantoms we summon, that is just a free nat 3 to feed as fodder. Just like we're doing with the Sif. Alright, finish scrolling through here. So Mammon, he's already skilled up all the way, so we've got 2 more free fodder to send. We've got a dupe Lily. She needs several more skill ups. And the other thing with this too is being a streamer, you know, eventually I'm going to try to build some of these nat 3s, showcase what they can and can't do, see how they compare to some of their nat 4, nat 5 brethren. And in this game, especially compared to some other games, the nat 5s are not the end all be all. The nat 4s quite often are equal to or better than many of the nat 5s. If you guys haven't seen my last video, at the end of it when I did a quick summon session, I summoned 2 eye sets. That's an LND nat 5. It's the only LND nat 5 I have, so pretty unlucky to summon 2 of those. Anyway, what you can do with the duplicate nat 5 in this game is you can feed it into the other one and that'll get you a skill up Right now I'm just going to hold on to her to see if maybe down the road at some point they buff her, because right now she's not a very good hero, so I'm not really wanting to waste resources in her. At the same time, if some of these games will eventually release a method to convert, and it's usually expensive on resources, but that you could convert your light and dark heroes or your other nat 5s into a different unit. And it's usually RNG based, so it's random, you could still get another dupe, but it would at least give us a chance to get a different LND. So I'm just going to save her for that. She'll just be guarding the hero storage box until then. So keep going through here, see if we've got anybody else. We've got another Guinevere. Guinevere's already maxed out. Gawain, we've got an extra Gawain. We need looks like 4 more Skillups there, so we'll go ahead and feed that one. And as you can see, I'm not wasting any of these purple guys on nat 3s. We've got an extra Faust. He definitely needs some Skillups. We've got an extra Flora. She needs a few Skillups. Like I said, this is just the easiest, quickest way to organize your box to make this go as smooth as possible, so you're not wasting any of your resources. And some of these units, like I know a lot of people in my guild and otherwise have just fed their 3 stars to make more 6-star units. And there's nothing wrong with that if you're just trying to speed progression. You'll definitely get plenty of 3 stars over time. Alright, so our Eris, she's already skilled up, so that's another free. Elf Guardian. I think on this summon session we did a little over 20 summons. So not that much compared to some of the previous sessions we've done. And sorry about the length of time this takes, it's not the fastest process. But I don't know of a way to make it any faster. Alright, so alright. Equiternia, she's already max skilled. Cersei needs a new one. And this is the last one we have to worry about. And now we'll talk about the skill fairies. Alright, so the skill fairies are one of the rare, probably one of the most rare resources in the game. You've got the small skill fairy. The only thing you want to use a small skill fairy on are nat 4 heroes. Don't waste them on nat 3s, nat 2s. You'll get plenty of those over time. So to have the best progression and most efficient, just save these guys up for your nat 4s. They cannot be used on nat 5s. So if they could be used on nat 5s, that's probably where we'd put them first. You can collect these guys a variety of ways. You can get a full one from certain events, running Toa and other rewards. Same thing with the normal size skill fairy. The most I don't know about convenient, but the most standard way of getting them is participating in arena. Alright, so if we hit battle, this way we're not talking about progression rewards, we're talking about like weekly rewards. And we go to the honor store for arena. You can collect these small skill fairy pieces and skill fairy every 30 days and every 7 days. So make sure you're getting enough points to collect these guys. You need to be collecting them every time they're available. Again, it's a very rare resource. And that standard skill fairy is what you're going to be using on your nat 5 heroes. Don't waste them on nat 4s. It's not worth it over time. So if we go in here and we look at summon, and then you go and look at your pieces, you'll see that we have 7 out of 100 for the small skill fairy and 20 out of 100 for the large skill fairy. Another place you can get more of these guys are their requests, so make sure you're doing your requests. we'll go ahead and do a refresh. This refresh button is available. Like, I don't need experience. All my heroes are max leveled right now, and I don't have any double XP packs running, so I'm not too worried about leveling up. I'm more focused on rune dungeons, so we're going to skip that. Refresh it. It maintains the ones that are already in progress. So we got more silver coming in. Just click on that. I've got this also, drop down arrow, and I've got it sorted by probability. That way I can just always click whatever the top units are. And if you're doing these requests, this is why I keep most of my heroes in my open box instead of in storage, just so I can make sure I'm getting the highest probability of completion so I can get the special reward. So we're 76%. More than likely we'll get that extra 8,000 silver. It doesn't sound like a lot, but it's not like we're having to do anything. And it doesn't take your units away. Even though your units are going out on this request, you can still use them in other content. So make sure you're keeping this full at all times. You get free costume rewards, you get free skill up pieces. So you're hurting yourself by not doing it. So now if we go to hero, the way that I parse out where I want to spend my skill fairies, if we're talking progression, the first person I would give my skill fairies to would be whoever my farmer is going to be. Examples of good farmers in this game, Ifrit and Ingwe. If you're using your starter Nat 5 role where you get to choose who your Nat 5 is, if you choose Ifrit, Ingwe, or Esperanza, those three are great for multiple varieties of content. Ifrit tailors off a little bit towards endgame. Ingwe is always good, and Esperanza is always good. So if you choose any of them, that's where I would put my skill ups. So as you can see right now, Ifrit was my first Nat 5. I max skilled her so that she would have as much damage as possible, as much effect and cooldown reduction as possible. Same thing with Ingwe. I haven't max skilled him yet, but I took him up to where I felt he needed to be before I got some other heroes. So I made sure his stats got maxed out, made sure his cooldown got taken down on the S2, and then the rest of her damages, I kind of want this effect rate up, but I have other Nat 5s I need to focus on. So like I said, your skill fairies need to go where you're at in the game. So when you're starting out, you want to put your Nat 5, your full-size skill fairies, into whoever is going to be your farmer. That way they can farm faster and clearer content for you. Once you have a good solid farmer, you can move on into putting your skill ups into wherever you're getting stuck at. So if you're trying to farm runes or you're trying to do Toa, and you've got a very specific hero that you need to run it with, that's where I would put my skill fairies next. If we're talking about farmers too, Nat 4 farmers that you guys can use would be Media and Muspel. Those are two of the great Nat 4 heroes. A lot of people use them for 7-1 farming. Muspel probably does a little bit better in 3-1. So if you wanted to put your small skill fairies into them, instead of waiting on dupes to pop up, then that's a very efficient use of those skill fairies. And the reason we list Media and Muspel as some of the best heroes also for skill ups is you want to look at the unit and see where else they can be viable. You don't want to just do them for one specific piece of content unless they are needed for that. Media can be used for speed teams for Fafnir. Muspel can be used for speed teams in Toa. Very good in PvP content as well, so you're not wasting anything. So in this circumstance, we have been giving our skill ups to Apollon because he's also part of PvP teams, Toa teams. And light and dark heroes, the scrolls are so rare. If you have an L&D hero to build, skill them up before you skill up another Nat 4 or Nat 5, just because you're more than likely going to get the standard tree, water, or fire style heroes before you get another L&D hero. So we've been putting our 4-star skill ups into him. We're going to be max skilling him because we want him for our F11 team. So small skill fairy, we're going to dump that in. It's 10,000 per one. And then our standard skill fairy, like I said, we're going to put him into a Nat 5. Again, we are looking for a speed team right now. That is our progression. We're already clearing Toa normal. We're already farming 10 and 11 rune dungeons, and we've already cleared the majority of the content in the game. We do fairly well in PvP already, so Mary is our focus. Mary is very useful in Toa. Somewhat useful, but not mainstream for PvP, but she is part of most speed teams right now. When you're talking F11, which is the Fafnir 11 dungeon. As you can see, I've already put in one skill up, so we'll just dump in that major skill fairy again. So it's 20,000 instead of 10,000 for this one. And like I said, it was randomly placed. You don't get to choose where it goes. And that's it for the skill up, guys. Just wanted to show you where you can get some of the pieces from, show you how I focus on what I'm doing in the game. So again, farmer first, and we'll probably make a progression video to follow this one up. But skill up your farmer first, and then focus on the content you need to do next. Usually that's going to be rune farming or Toa, and then PvP after that. And like I said, make sure you're doing those arena rewards, that's your most consistent, and make sure you're doing your requests. And that's going to be it for this video. If there's anything else you guys want to discuss, leave it in the comments below. I hope you like this video and subscribe if you haven't already.